Okay, so I want to talk about something, and I'm going to be honest, I almost didn't bring this up because it's one of those things where you feel like you should have it figured out by now, like anxiety, just the word. Everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a fix. Download this app, try this breathing exercise. Have you tried journaling? And I'm sitting there at like 2 a.m. with my heart doing whatever it's doing. And I've got the app open. I'm breathing in for 4, holding for 7, out for 8, and I feel worse. I actually feel worse. And then there's this extra layer of like, great, now I'm anxious and I'm broken because the thing that's supposed to fix me isn't working.
Hmm.
And that's the part nobody talks about, right? The shame spiral on top of the anxiety spiral. You've been told 1,000 times, just relax, just calm down, take a deep breath. And when it doesn't work, you don't think, oh, maybe the advice is bad. You think, something's wrong with me. And it's like, there's a whole machine out there ready to sell you the next fix. $5 trillion wellness industry, meditation apps with their little streak counters, corporate retreats where your company sends you to do breath work in a yurt so they can say they care about mental health. I'm not saying all of it's trash, but like, when did anxiety become a subscription service?
Well, and that's the thing that gets me, because all of it, the apps, the supplements, the guided meditations, all of it is built on this one assumption, that if you calm your mind down, the anxiety goes away. And that assumption, it's just wrong, man.
Wait, what do you mean it's wrong?
So there's this guy, Daniel Wegner, Harvard psychologist. And he ran this experiment back in the 80s that's kind of, almost funny if it wasn't so brutal. He tells a room full of people, whatever you do, don't think about a white bear. That's it. Simple instruction. Don't think about it.
And obviously you can't stop thinking about the white bear.
Right, but here's the part that really messes with you. The people who were told not to think about it thought about it more than the people who were never given any instruction at all. Like the act of trying to suppress the thought made it louder. He called it ironic process theory. And the way it works is, your brain has this background monitoring system, right? When you tell it, don't think about X, it has to keep scanning. Am I thinking about X? How about now? What about now? And that scanning is the thinking. The surveillance becomes the intrusion.
So every time someone tells you, stop worrying about it,
You're literally asking the brain to do the one thing that guarantees it keeps worrying. Yeah.
that actually makes me feel something. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been laying in bed going, stop thinking, stop thinking, stop thinking. And it just revs. It revs harder. And I always thought that was a me problem. Like I wasn't disciplined enough, or I was too weak to control my own thoughts or something.
Nah, that's not discipline. That's architecture. That's how the system was built. You were never going to win that fight.
So the breathing exercises, the clear your mind stuff, is that all just fancy versions of don't think about the white bear?
A lot of it, yeah. When the core instruction is stop feeling anxious, whether that comes from an app or a therapist or your mom or a guy on a podcast, you're engaging the same suppression loop. And here's where it gets even heavier. There's a whole body of research on what happens physiologically when you push emotions down, like what your body actually does when you suppress.
Okay.
So you'd think, right? If I put on a calm face, if I swallow the feeling, at least my body settles a little, like fake it till you make it. But they've measured this. Heart rate goes up when you suppress emotions. Cortisol spikes. Muscle tension increases. Your body is basically going, oh, we're pretending? Cool. I'm going to work double then. The effort of holding it together is literally more stressful than the anxiety itself.
That hits me right in the chest. Because I know that feeling. The performance of being fine, that's exhausting. You're at work and someone asks how you're doing and you go, yeah, I'm good, all good. And your whole body is just clenched. Everything clenched. And you can feel the gap between what you're showing people and what's actually happening inside. And it costs you something. Every single time, it costs you something.
And nobody around you knows. You're burning fuel that nobody can see.
So, okay, I'm sitting with this, and uh, it's a lot. Because basically what you're telling me is the whole playbook. Suppress the thought, calm the body, perform the okayness. All of it is backwards?
Yeah, and I want to sit on this next part for a minute because this is where things actually shift. So in clinical psych, there's this framework around exposure-based treatment, right? And the core idea is deceptively simple. It's not about relaxation, it's about approach. The thing that maintains anxiety, the engine that keeps it running, isn't the scary thought itself, it's the avoidance. Every single time you dodge the thing that scares you, the hard conversation, the email you won't open, the thought you keep pushing away, your brain logs it. It goes, okay, we ran from that, must have been dangerous. And the next time, the anxiety is bigger. Not because the threat grew, because the avoidance confirmed the threat.
So it's like a feedback loop. Every time you run, the thing you're running from gets louder.
Exactly. And think about it in like everyday terms for a second. You've got that conversation you need to have with your partner or your boss. Monday, you think about it, feel the dread, tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. Tuesday, the dread's worse. Wednesday, you can barely focus. By Friday, you're a wreck and the conversation hasn't even happened. The avoidance is the anxiety at that point. And here's what really got me. Go back to what you said in the beginning. The breathing exercise at 2 a.m. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. If the purpose of that breath is to make the anxiety go away, to not feel it, then even that is avoidance. It's avoidance dressed up as a coping tool.
Oh, man. I felt that. Because yeah, I wasn't breathing to be present. I was breathing to escape. That's exactly what I was doing.
And there's a really big difference between those two things.
So what does it actually look like to not run? Because my whole system is built around running. Every instinct when the anxiety hits is to fix it or fight it or breathe through it or do something. What does it actually look like to just not do that?
Honestly, it's weird and uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel like progress at first. It feels like you're doing it wrong. But the research is pretty clear. The people who do better with anxiety long-term aren't the ones who got better at calming down. They're the ones who got better at being anxious. Like, they learned to let it sit there without treating it as a 5-alarm emergency. The anxiety shows up, and instead of going, oh no, here it comes, what do I do? They just go, oh, hey, there you are, okay.
That's so much quieter than I expected. I thought you were going to give me some new technique, some upgraded breathing thing, or a better version of the app. But the move is literally to just let it be there?
Let it be there. Don't feed it. Don't fight it. And especially stop treating it as proof that something is wrong with you. Anxiety is information, man. It's not a malfunction. And the moment you stop going to war with it, it loses like half its power. Because half the suffering was never the anxiety. It was the resistance to the anxiety.
I think the hardest part of hearing that is how alone it feels. Like you're sitting with this thing that everyone around you is telling you to fix, and the actual move is to not fix it. And nobody's talking about it this way. Nobody in your life is saying, just let it be there.
No. And honestly, that's kind of by design. There's no product to sell for, just let it be there. You can't monetize acceptance, but you can absolutely monetize the panic about the panic.
So if someone's listening right now and they're in it, like they're the person who's tried the apps and the breathing and the mantras and the supplements, and they're still waking up at 3 a.m. with that weight sitting on their chest. What do they do differently? Like tomorrow morning, what's the move?
Start noticing what you avoid. That's it. Don't try to fix it yet. Don't make a plan. Just notice. The email you keep skipping, the thoughts you keep shoving down, the conversation you rehearse in the shower but never actually have. Just watch it. Because that's where your anxiety actually lives. Not in your chest, not in your racing thoughts. It lives in the gap between what you're avoiding and what you know you need to face.
Start noticing what you avoid. That's where your anxiety lives. I think I need to sit with that for a while. Because that might be the most honest thing anyone's ever said to me about this. Not, here's the fix. Not, try this hack. Just look at it. Look at where you keep turning away.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.